Should I bring this away a little bit, or is it bright?
Love these green smoothies. All right. Hello, everyone. Nice. We got some people here already. This is so sweet. So welcome to the live with Simnett Nutrition. Today, we're going to answer your questions, whatever questions you have for me in the chat. I'm so excited to talk to you guys. This was so fun. I did this about 3 weeks ago, I think. And yeah, it was super fun interacting with all of you and chatting. So it's going to be really cool. I'll try. Last week's, I think, or 3 weeks ago, it was like 2 hours or something like that. It'd be awesome to keep this one to around an hour. But if there's still a whole bunch of people in the chat at around an hour, then we'll keep it going for a little while longer if there's a lot of questions and that sort of thing, because I love chatting with you guys. So yeah, let's get started with some questions. I don't think I have any sort of housekeeping things to take care of first. No, we're still working on the Simnett Nutrition clothing, just getting the website like really dialed in before we launch all that. And then I have some like awesome ideas for clothing in the future that's not like Simnett Nutrition branded, and super excited for that. All right, guys, so let's get into some questions. Thank you, everyone, for joining me today. Everybody who's coming in on the live chat, thank you so much. And all you guys who are watching this after the fact, thank you as well for watching. So we got a question from the guy. How often do you run? It's a great question. So I often, like Crystal's laughing, I can hear her from the bathroom. So I run every day. I definitely run every single day. However, it doesn't mean I'm going out for like a 30 or a 45-minute run and doing like hard cardio every day. I just like to run because it feels good. I also like to get places quickly. And it's something that I just do it before my workouts. And if it's nice outside, I always just go to the park and I'll run. And usually between 5 and 20 minutes, depending, on how long I feel like I want to that day. And then I'll just go and work out. So I'm not doing a whole lot of just focused running. I love trail running and I do miss it, but we just have only so much time to do all these things that we love in our life. So yeah, good question. So vegan foods to avoid if you're trying to lose weight. So that's a good one. I would say the foods that you should stick to are just like the whole foods in their whole form. Foods that you should avoid to lose weight would definitely be like, processed foods, oils, things like that. And then if you have any sort of like, real weak foods that you just, can't have a limit on, for me, that's peanut butter. Then maybe if you're trying to lose weight, keep that sort of stuff out of the house. But it's hard for me to say, exactly for you what those foods might be. But yeah, I think for the most part, I think just try and get in as many whole foods as you can. And if you're trying to lose weight, eat like the water-dense, fiber-dense foods that are fairly low in calories. So lots of vegetables, basically. Fruit's great too. So we got a super chat. So thank you so much for that. So there is this thing called super chat, where you can make like a small donation if you want, and your question pops up here. It is not necessary. I'm going to be answering as many questions as I can from the chat, but I do appreciate it, and I put a lot of free information out there for you guys. And if you feel like being generous and donating, then that's totally cool as well. But not expected at all. I am not here for that. I am here to answer your questions. So let's get to the first super chat. Thank you, Andrew Salazar, for that. And what are your thoughts on intermittent fasting? So I've handled this a few times, and my thoughts, the core thoughts around it are always the same, but the details have sort of changed, I guess. But basically, my whole thing with intermittent fasting is that I think, first of all, if you have an eating problem, a disordered eating or anything like that, I wouldn't bother going down that road at all. But for most people, we're really focused on like eating all the time. And I think it's nice to give our bodies a rest sometime and let our digestive tract like heal, take a rest, and not just be like pumping it full of nutrients all the time. Even if they're good nutrients, sometimes it's a good thing that we, don't eat them. So is it necessary? No. For me, I really like it because I find it helps me to sort of, just control my eating habits in my window, because I know I don't eat healthy things late at night. So if I kind of make that rule, say I'm not going to eat after dinner, then I'm not going to be going to the fridge and like reaching for, peanut butter and banana like I always do, or peanut butter and dates. It's like the best. It's not that that's an unhealthy food. I just can't control it, and I don't eat those foods when I need calories, I'm eating late at night. So that's my thought on intermittent fasting. See if it works for you. It works for me because I wake up and I go work out first thing in the morning before I do too much work. And then I'll have my first meal after that. But if you're getting up at, 5 o'clock to go to work and you're trying to, work out before that, then intermittent fasting might not work for you. But I think definitely has some benefits. Good question. We got another super chat. And it's from Jonathan. Thank you. When I do cardio, my throat and chest burns like fire. What's up with that? So initially, I know that this is not I'm not telling you what's wrong with you, but there's a thing called sports-induced asthma, and that is something that some people have. So that might be something you want to go to the doctor and check out, and they might give you an inhaler for that. I don't know if that's the only solution for it. I've never looked into it before. I know just a little story for you guys. When I was younger, we learned about this on my hockey team, that if we went to our doctor and we told them that we had sports-induced asthma, or like we couldn't breathe very well when we were playing hockey, they would just give us those puffers. And at one point, our whole hockey team was just had them, and none of us really needed them, but we knew that we could perform better and we could breathe so good on them. So we were just smashing that and scoring goals. But yeah, not a healthy way to manage difficult breathing. So yeah, I don't know, that could be it for sure. Other than that, I don't know where you live, maybe there's a lot of pollution around where you are or whatnot, but yeah, hopefully you can get that figured out, because that's not good. So we got a question from Raymond Herrick that popped out at me here. What's your thoughts on CrossFit type training? So I think, first thing, the camaraderie in CrossFit is really cool. I like that they're all encouraging each other and cheering each other on, and they've made sort of a sport out of working out, where working out has traditionally been a very individual and solo sport. I guess you need spotter sometimes or whatever, but so I like that about CrossFit. I think that the big compound movements that they go through and stuff, I think are really effective. They're great, but can be dangerous for beginners. And I think with the combination of people encouraging you to push harder and the welcoming, ness of the whole thing, and then doing these super fast timed, as many reps as possible and that type of thing, I think it can lead to injury. But other than that, do what you like. And if you're doing it safely, go do some CrossFit. Just make sure that you can do strict pull-ups as well as the kipping ones, please. Okay, how do you stay? So this question is from Diffy Diffos. Man, there's just so many good questions in here. This is going to be a really fun hour. So we got a question. Diffy Diffos. How do you stay so motivated while eating healthy? So, I think the question is how do I stay motivated to eat healthy, I guess, because when you're eating, I find, at least when I'm eating healthy and I'm eating, really vibrant foods that are energy rich and clean, that I have more motivation and I feel better and I have a lot more energy. So, to answer your question exactly as you've written it, you have answered it in that question. That is how I stay so motivated, by eating healthy. But to eat healthy, how do I stay so motivated? I know that it's going to be worth it in the end. First of all, it's definitely worth it in the end. I would rather pay a little bit more for my food now and for organic food, and put a little bit more time into preparing my food and watching what I eat now than, having bad habits and growing old with them, and then having disease and having to really focus on things and think about that then. It's much harder, and it is much more of a burden than, to adapt a healthy lifestyle then, or to try and heal disease, than it is to try and prevent it. So that's what motivates me. My father, he passed away from cancer when I was 16 years old. And I saw him get really sick and, battle through it and stuff. And I want to do what I can so that I don't have to go through that. And I want to be around for a long time. So that's one of them. Another one that's a long-term goal that motivates me, or whatever, a long-term cue or whatever you want to say, that helps me to stay motivated to eat healthy. But in the short term, what motivates me to stay healthy, when I see a bag of chips there and I'm at a party and I'm like, I know I love those chips. I used to eat them all the time. I eat a whole bag in one sitting. I know that I've had that before and I know exactly what it tastes like. It's not going to taste any different this time. B, it's probably not even going to taste as good as what I'm imagining in my head. And C, if I do have that, I am then going to condition my taste buds to want more of that hyper flavorful, super salty treat. And I'm going to be seeking that out for the next week, and I'm going to have to break that addiction again. So that is what keeps me motivated in the short term. So just remember those things. That really helped me in the beginning, because I drive by like McDonald's, or Wendy's was my favorite, like I don't even want to say a junior bacon cheeseburger or whatever. That was like my thing. I'd just like drive by. If I saw Wendy's, I'd get like a half a dozen of those. And then when I'd be driving by it, when I first started to try and eat healthy and go vegan, I'd see that, and just right away I'd be conditioned to like, I'll just go in, pop in and get a couple. And but then once I started saying to myself, I know what that tastes like. Every single time it tastes the same, and it's not going to be any different this time, and I just keep driving by, and I know that I'll be healthier for it. So hopefully that helps you out. I like talking about that stuff. That's great. Excellent tip, Derek. Cool. Thank you, Andrew Bueller. You got a cool last name from one of my favorite movie characters ever, Ferris Bueller. I think it's spelled a little different, but any Ferris Bueller fans in the audience here? That's like one of the best movies ever. Bueller. What other questions do we have? Derek, planche, when? Holy, I don't know. People train for the planche for a long time, but I have been known to surprise myself with movements that I haven't even been practicing. Like the human flag kind of came out of nowhere. I was obviously doing things to support myself to get there, but not really that consciously. Even today, if you guys saw my stories, I did this muscle up where rather than having a transition in the middle, you just kind of blast right through it, fly like right up over the bar. And I managed to do it today. And I didn't think that I'd ever be able to do it, or take years. So who knows? Planche, let's say next summer, I want to be doing something that at least like resembles a planche. I'll be training over the winter for it. So mark my words. Keep me accountable, you guys. Really good question. So we got a couple super chats here. We got one from Cody. Hey, Derek, since I went vegetarian and started getting muscle cramps in my hands and feet, what am I missing in my diet? Muscle cramps. What did you think, Crystal?
Magnesium?
Crystal's initial thought was magnesium. So get lots and lots of dark leafy greens in you. Yeah, it sounds like muscle cramps is like a electrolyte, usually electrolyte balance. So yeah, that's a tough one. I would say, if you're not eating any salt at all, it could be like that drastic change of you eating a diet that's rich in salt to something, to a diet that's like, virtually void of any added salts. That could throw you into a tizzy, along with eating lots of potassium from like, the foods that like potatoes, bananas, probably kiwis, I think as well. Lots of foods have potassium. So that has to be in balance. So it could be that. And introducing a small amount of salt back in your diet and sort of tapering it off might help if that's what happened. That's what happened there. I don't know. Other than that, yeah, cramping for sure. If it's tingling and numbness, B12 and go get tested for it. Start supplementing it right away. But that's not what you said, tingling. You said cramps. So good luck. We have another one here. I hope I didn't miss a super chat up here. I've got, let's see. I must have. Archie Plays. I hope I got to your super chat. If not, ask again in the comments down below and I'll try and get to it. So we got a super chat here from Drew69. Cool name, bud. Thoughts on adaptogens. Cool. Yeah. So adaptogens, there's lots of adaptogenic herbs out there. And I always feel dumb like saying the like what they do, but they help our bodies to adapt to stress. It seems so obvious, but that's what they do. They work with our adrenal glands, our hypothalamus, our also the HPA axis, all sorts of different organs to help align them and put them into balance. So what are my thoughts on them? I mean, that's a really big, a broad spectrum. There's probably many adaptogens that I've never heard about before. But like maca, for one, is an adaptogen. And I consume that regularly. I feel like it does give me some good energy and vigor. I don't continuously take it. Not saying that you couldn't, but I do sort of, cycle that, I guess. And then there's also like ashwagandha is another one. I've used that during like times of stress. And I don't know, it didn't seem to help me at all because by I'll start taking that and I'll do other measures like deep breathing and just like trying to be conscious of being stressed out. And, a combination of the whole thing's kind of a bunch of things sort of help in the end. Rhodiola is a really powerful one for people that deal with stress though. And I definitely have felt the effects of that. So just throwing it out there. If you need something to help, an adaptogen to help you deal with stress, might be a good one. Good question, though. Yeah. All right, so we got a question here from Jack Vavry. At Simnett Nutrition, best way to transform to vegan. Already limited meat to 2 to 3 days a week. Also best exercise for abs and calisthenics. All right, so you're doing it. You're doing the best that you can to transform to veganism. You're reducing your meat consumption. You are crowding it out with plant foods that you like, that are healthy, that are easy for you to prepare. So cut that down to, once a week, or just keep going on your train, man. Like, you're doing really good. There's no sort of secret to doing that. Just keep remembering and thinking about why you're doing it. Is it for your health? Keep thinking that, if you continue along this path, it will only get better. If you're doing it for the animals, then, why are you still eating the animals 2 or 3 times a week? You don't need to be doing it. It's not helping you out at all. So just, maybe watch some documentaries, try to go a whole week without any meat, see how you feel. But hey, man, you're doing what you can. Best exercise for abs and calisthenics. Well, the best calisthenics exercise is the pull-up. Like, that is the king of all movements, but highly debated, I understand. But exercise for abs, I think, it's more about engaging your abs than it is actually like the exercise. So, you could do 1,000 sit-ups and, hardly get any results because you're just pulling your neck up. And the same with like hanging leg raises. You could do or hanging knee raises. You could do a whole bunch of those, but you're just using like your hip flexors to pull your knees up. You're not actually like tilting your pelvic bone and using your abs to control it. So I really like things that force you to do that, force you to actually twist that pelvic bone and sort of tilt your bum up towards the sky. So that is, hanging knee raises, hanging leg raises. I think those are really helpful. And then also like laying down flat and then doing, what did we call those? Reverse crunches. Reverse crunches are really great as well.
Dragon flag.
Yeah, dragon flags, if you can progress to it. So we got a question from a soldier in 1844. Should I discard bread in order to lose fat? Yeah, like, it depends what kind of bread. Are we talking Wonder Bread, or are we talking about like a, whole grain rye sourdough? I think that you should eat a bread that's as whole and natural as possible. If you're going to eat bread, if you find that you overeat it and if you don't put healthy things on the bread, then yeah, maybe get it out of your life. You won't be missing out on anything by not having it. But, it really just comes down to, the calories that we're taking in and the calories that we're expelling. Of course, there are some small, minutiae of details in and around there. But yeah, for the most part, if you're eating a good quality bread and you digest it okay, I don't see anything too bad with that. But like I said before, you want to eat whole foods. We want to get our calories as much as we can from whole foods. So rather than eating bread, have a stir fry with like buckwheat or with like spelt or with whole grain rice, something that, is kind of like the bread, but it's not processed. Anyways, hopefully that helps. So someone recommended for the person who was having the muscles, try to integrate more potassium sources. So there you go. Alrighty. So here we go. Missing water. Yeah, that's what someone said. So yeah, dehydration, really good. For that person with the muscle cramps, lots and lots and lots of water. We got another super chat here. Hey, Derek and Crystal, I've ordered 2 copies of your ebook and love it. That's really nice. We emailed about it under a different username. You didn't have to buy it twice, but thank you. Do you have an estimated time of arrival for your next ebook? Yes. I'm hoping to have it out by the end of the year for sure, like 100% out this fall or early winter. Working on recipes and, figuring out what you guys will help you the most, but also, not deviating from what I make, of course. So yeah, good question. Thank you for that. All right, let's see what else we've got here. 2 copies of the ebook, crazy. B12 recommendations, dosage, and brand. Thank you. Yeah, so there's a lot of information out there on B12. I think Mike the Vegan has a really good video on B12 that you could watch. And as long as you're, taking it consistently. I don't think that it really, matters too much about the brand or the dosage. I think like sublingual is best, but it's been shown that like if we take a tablet or if we take sublingual, you can absorb it all the same. But sublingual seems like the most sensible to me because there's a complicated, sort of process that has to happen in order for your body to absorb B12. So if we could just avoid that and like have it absorbed through our mucous membranes, then even better. So 2,500 micrograms in divided dosing throughout the week. Methylcobalamin or cyanocobalamin, one of those two. There's some other ones on the market, but I think those two are just fine. I actually cycle between both of them. So I'll have some methylcobalamin for a couple days, and then I'll go to cyanocobalamin. I'll switch back and forth because people do tend to respond a little bit differently to both. And if you have a condition that is called MTHFR, so it's the methyl tetrahydrofolate reductase inhibitor enzyme deficiency, then you can't like methylate B12. So taking the cyanocobalamin form isn't good for you. You should be taking the methylated form. So, but in order to figure that out, you have to take genetic tests. So yeah, it's tough. All right. Spirulina, good enough for B12 intake? No, it is not. So spirulina can sometimes show that it has B12 in it, but they're often like referred to as B12 analogs, and they look like B12 to our bodies, and they can sort of fill up the receptor sites, but it doesn't give our bodies the same benefits as B12. So, and then it can even be harder for us to absorb other B12. So yeah, don't rely on spirulina for your B12. But still take B12, I would say. Same goes for nutritional yeast. B12 is added to nutritional yeast, and it actually doesn't naturally make it, at least in significant amounts. But it all depends on that company, what type they're adding, how much they're adding to it. So I would say still supplement it. Nature's yeast for B12. I'm not familiar with nature's yeast. If it's similar to nutritional yeast, like I just mentioned, it's fortified. So you'd want to, yeah, I guess it's okay, but I would still take that. I'd still take a supplement. So we got something about summer. Hair growth, whatever that is. Hair growth and hair loss. Any tips or tricks? For hair loss, yeah, if you just get older, like apparently it just keeps falling out like a bit. But as far as like keeping it growing, high antioxidant foods. We want to eat lots of antioxidant rich foods so that the tiny blood vessels that our hair grow out of. I don't think they grow out of blood vessels, but surround the hair follicle. That's what it is. So they get lots of blood and they don't, start to deteriorate and wither away like, the arteries in our, or like the heart does when we eat, when we don't eat enough antioxidants. Eventually we start getting problems with those, veins. So yeah, definitely antioxidants rich foods. Man, stumbled through that one. All right. What did it say? Think you've missed a super chat about what your favorite dish is. Okay, thank you. So sorry for that. I try to get them all, but that one, it was a weird one. It disappeared really quickly. Don't get mad. So, yeah. So my favorite meal. Hey. Yeah. What do you? Okay. Non-healthy favorite meal. Like just go to. Like don't care about health. Just want flavor. Probably like a nice big vegan pizza. Just like the best. I don't know. Finger food. It's easy. There's so many different things on it. Like so many different flavors. Options are endless. Yeah, probably that. But then as far as like healthy foods go, healthier kind of foods, probably like sushi would be one of them. Like good veggie sushi, a couple options. Or like a nice Buddha bowl with lots of different flavors that you could choose from. Some sauerkraut, maybe some other fermented veggies, some nice grain, some greens, maybe some steamed veggies, some seasoning on it, something like that. So good. But then how could I miss the smoothie? Smoothie bowls, smoothies, those are my favorites as well. I don't know, man. I love food. Don't ask me such hard questions, guys. When will your clothing be available to order? We're trying in the, like maybe a week. I've had some being ordered. I'm going to try it on and like take some pictures with it, look all cool. And then, yeah, there we go. We're going to hopefully a week. I'm going to have a sip of my smoothie. Anybody else enjoying a smoothie with this? Next question. Any tip for lymph drainage? I don't know where that went, but rebounding is really good for lymphatic drainage, just jumping and walking as well. So the lymph is circulatory system, but it doesn't have any pump. It's not like our heart that has a pump that moves it around. It relies on our, on our body's like movement, and then also the like the compression of like the muscles and the action of the muscles moving helps to move the lymph around. So we definitely want to be moving, jumping. That will help all of that. Really good question. The lymphatic system is definitely a forgotten system in our body. We are not forgotten, but just like underappreciated, I think. You are awesome. Thank you. So are you. Are you still eating dulse regularly? Iodine deficiency. Yep, I still do. Not as regularly as I should. You just reminded me. Hopefully I can remember to have some after this. Where can you get iodine? From sea vegetables is like the main source. There's small amounts of iodine in our food, but it depends on the soil that it's growing in. Iodized salt will have iodine in it as well. And then you could also get like a supplement that is usually just from sea vegetables. So yeah, what else do we have here? What shoes do you recommend to work out in? Whatever's comfy and cheap and like lightweight that you like to wear. I like the Etnies Scout. Like, I don't know how I'm not on payroll for these guys yet. But man, I've bought I should buy shares in the company rather than shoes, because I've bought and probably influenced so many people to buy these shoes. But yeah, I love the Etnies Scout. It's just like a really lightweight, it's a lightweight shoe. Derek 50 for $50 off. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, just super lightweight, like actually just so light, really simple sole. And my favorite are shoes that have really low drop. So 4 millimeters or lower is the drop I like. I prefer shoes to be totally flat across, although they are hard to find with like some good padding. So these are just around a 4 millimeter drop, and they're just perfect for me. So if you have more of a drop, then your foot is higher at the back and it's more like you're wearing a heel, and that's not good for us. We want our feet to be flat on the ground, because when we do that, then our hamstrings and stuff shorten and we can't get into those squats as deep and cause all sorts of problems. So yeah, fairly flat-soled shoes. And if you're doing lots of like heavy leg stuff, squats, then you want something with a really hard sole, but you could always take your shoes off for that. Good question. I love shoes. Aaron Tran, we got, let me see if, okay. Aaron Tran, what is your desired weight range and body fat percentage? Okay. So I don't know what percentage of body fat I'm at. I've never had it tested. I think I've done like the calipers, but I'm not very good at calculating that. So it was way off. But my desired weight, so I'm 5'6". I'm about 145 pounds. I seem to just stay around there. I've been around there for the last year or 2 years. And I gain a little bit and lose a little bit, but I seem to stay around there. It's hard, our bodies only want to hold like so much muscle, unless of course we do extracurricular things. But I'm not about to do that. So probably, my desired weight, if I could get up to 150 pounds, so another 5 pounds, and maybe drop like a percentage or two of body fat, just be a little bit leaner, then that would be amazing. And of course, that's what I'm going for. But who knows? Maybe when I get there, I'll be looking in the mirror and I'll be like, oh man, another 5 pounds. I always want to be a little bit bigger. So I want to be athletic though. So I think another 5 pounds heavier, a little bit leaner, and I'll be really happy with that. So how many pull-ups do you do in a week? Oh my gosh. How many seconds are there in a year? I don't know. I don't know. It changes. It varies week from week, but hundreds. I don't know. So yeah, thanks Bobo Benny for the super chat. Appreciate the donation there. All right, what else we got here? Let's get into some more questions. I can definitely see you on Ninja Warriors. Yeah, I know. I want to be on Ninja Warrior. Tell me about it. So, okay, let's get another one. We got Foot Soldier. Cool, man. I watch this guy's channel quite a bit. He's actually like so funny, and I like his videos. If you don't know his channel, go check it out. What is your advice for someone like myself who has a track record of not keeping up consistency, then never building strength? Yeah, that's the hard thing. Like a lot of people, they'll go to the gym for, they'll be able to do it for like a month or 2 months, and then things kind of get in the way, And, you know, it's hard to get back into it after that, because after that month and a half, you're just starting to get into the swing of things. Your muscles aren't getting so sore anymore where you're like, you know, in agony. And then you remember so closely, like it's hard to get back into that. You know, my muscles are going to be sore again. So just my recommendation, you know, if that was me, I would just do something every day. And that's the thing I think with most of us is we make these, we make whatever the thing is that we're trying to like conquer too big. And we just have to like break it down and make it smaller so that it's easier to tackle. And that happened a lot with me when I was first starting like YouTube, for instance. I was like, oh my gosh, these videos, they take me like, you know, it takes me like 10 hours to film them. And, you know, if it was a day in the life eating or whatever, and then it takes me another 10 hours to edit. It's like 20 hours of work. So then I'd do one and I'd just sit there and I wouldn't want to do it again because I remember like, you know, how hard it was and how long it took. And then I'd think, wait, if I just like did something that was like smaller and a little shorter, a little easier, like at least I would still like be in that flow of things and it wouldn't be as hard to get back into it. So that's what I would say. Just like do something, whether you're just like, you know what, I haven't done anything today. I'm just going to smash out 10 push-ups. I guarantee you'll do 20 or 30 if you even just get down to do 10. So yeah, that would be my thing. Just lace up. That is the biggest thing. I said that a long time ago in one like this motivational like video I tried to make. Remember that, Crystal?
Oh gosh.
I like did like voiceover. Go back and watch it if you guys haven't seen it. It's so funny. Like,
no, I don't think you uploaded it. Remember?
Oh,
like,
didn't I?
Yeah, no, I don't think you did.
Know if I did.
Oh,
I think
yeah.
I did upload it.
No, you made another one.
I was like, I wake up every day, and some days I'm not as motivated as others, but I get out the door. So yeah, honestly, just put your shoes on and lace up, and just do something. It doesn't have to be 100% of it, but just do something. Love you, bro. Okay, next one. Can you still tighten up while losing inches and tone up? Yes, definitely. You are always happy. Do you meditate or do yoga or smoke weed? Oh gosh. Okay, so I'm always happy. Yeah, so that's not like anything to do with like weed or like anything like that. I think I just try to you know what? I've always had this amazing like wonder and appreciation for all things in life. And like sometimes I swear I'm at like a dinner party or something and I'm like, I see this like candle and it'll have like some cool designs on it. And I'm just like looking at it and people probably think I'm like on acid. And I'm just like amazed by this. I'm like, look how wonderful this is. We get to experience this like cool thing. So just find like wonder and awe in as many things as you can find. And yeah, just harbor that excitement. Just feel like this little ball of like motivation and excitement and happiness and just fan that and just it'll blow up. I promise you. Sorry about your father. No, that's okay. We all go through these things in life. We all have a story. So anyways, yeah, meditate. No, I don't meditate. I've tried and like foot soldier there. I'll do it for a few days and then I'll get out of it. And then I'll say, man, it's hard to get back into because I remember how hard it was when I started. So maybe I should take my own advice. If I just take just 3 deep breaths today, maybe that's good enough, right? But I do practice like mindful breathing when I'm in line, or if I feel myself getting anxious, I focus on my breath. That's definitely a form of meditation. Yoga, no, I don't do yoga. Crystal wishes I did that, but I just have too many passions. I want to do too many things. I want to mountain bike. I want to start playing guitar again. I want to like make more YouTube videos. I want to like put on more muscle. I want to learn more calisthenics movements. I can't go sit in a freaking yoga studio for an hour and a half while I'm thinking about all these things. Quiet, Crystal. This is my show. And then smoke weed. Yeah, I don't know. No comment on that one. But I battled with that for a long time. And you know, like anything, there's an ebb and flow to lots of things in life. But you just got to recognize, you know, with anything, if it's getting the better of you. And sometimes that's hard to do with substances. So I don't know. Stay away from it, guys. All right. But yeah, just honestly, just find like wonder and awe and amazement in as many things as you can in life, and just enjoy that. And it doesn't matter if people tell you that like it's stupid. I used to have a science teacher, and I would always say, you know, I would always be fascinated, be like, look how cool this is, that like, you know, this chemical reaction, like look how neat this little mix is of it or whatever. And she'd be like, oh yeah, small minds, small thrills. That's what she'd always say to me. And my mom found out about that. She almost went into that school and got that teacher fired. But I told her not to. I said, Mom, I don't care. It's fine. I don't mind. I'm entertained easily. I'm okay with that. Anyways, fun little story. So we got a question from Sean Baker. No, I'm just kidding. I thought that'd be a fun joke. Kyron Paul, thanks for the super chat, bro. Excess phytoestrogens on a plant-based diet. Chickpeas, lentils, soy, flaxseed, etc. Thanks from Nanaimo. Yeah, so I don't know a lot. Like, I wish I knew more about this because, you know, there are these phytoestrogens in these foods, and I've always understood that it's not a problem. I would say in most of them, in the chickpeas and the lentils, you know, and the soy, and I'm not worried about it. And the flax, it's like there's a lot of those estrogens in flax. So I don't know. I'm still consuming flax. I'm not having as much as I was. Somebody was telling me the other day that on Fran's vegan, what's the name? Vegan's Strength. Sorry, got a lot of things in my mind. Vegan's Strength. And he interviewed him recently, and Dr. Greger did talk about it. I didn't see the interview, but he did talk about it and says that he's sort of reduced his recommendation down to 1 tablespoon of ground flax per day. So I'm trying to balance my, sort of get some omega-3s from other sources up in my leafy greens, and then of course having some chia and hemp seeds as well. But yeah, as far as the phytoestrogens, I don't worry about them in soy and lentils and chickpeas for the most part. In flax, it's on my radar now. I'm not too worried about it. I'm not deficient in, testosterone, and I've been having flax. Well, I don't know if I am actually. I might have low testosterone. I have no idea. I don't know if you can, build muscle if your testosterone is low. I have no idea how that works. I will have to I'll have to get it tested sometime. I did actually get sent a test by a company. They were just like, hey, we see you got like accused of steroids. Do you want to take a testosterone test? And if you and if it's low, we can help you like raise it up or whatever. So I was like, oh, I probably don't want that help. But yeah, I don't know if it was like how. Yeah,
no,
was it like,
they didn't say that. They just
no,
said they would test it.
And then I can work with my doctor or something.
Yeah,
they did say something
they're
about.
Gonna help you. They're like, hey, we'll help you. That sounds so sketchy.
No, it wasn't like that. But anyways, yeah, good question. Am I into playing video games? That's a question from ABDKK. So yeah, video games. I love video games, but not all games. I just loved a couple games, and I played Grand Theft Auto, like Vice City and San Andreas, and then I'm pretty sure that when I was playing those, I was living more in a virtual life, like actually hours wise, more in that life than I was in my own life. Not a good time in my life. And then also EA Skate, and as you guys know, I'm a skateboarder. And then like all the car racing games, Midnight Club and Need for Speed and all those. And yeah, I love them. But I got to a point where it's like, yeah, I have so many things that are helping me to like that passions and things that I love to do in my life that are helping me like progress towards, greater health, a greater reach with you guys, more, physical strength, that sort of stuff that became something that I felt guilty about, and I didn't enjoy sitting there spending that time. There was so many other things that I wanted to do, so I got rid of that PlayStation, and I haven't played video games in a long time, but I do like them. Nothing against anyone that plays them, though. That's just me. Hey, Drew69, just sending a bit more love from Quebec. Keep on inspiring. Merci beaucoup. I appreciate that, Drew. I've been to Quebec. I don't know if you're from like old Quebec City, but I went there and it is a beautiful place. Doesn't even feel like you're in Canada. It feels like you are in like Europe or something. It's so cool. And yes, we have been to Europe, Crystal. UK. Is cardio better than ab exercises for ripped abs? What about a cardio ab exercise? Kill 2 pieces of soy with 1 stone. I'd say, I've seen people at the gym just doing like ab exercises so consistently for like years now, and they have not reduced the size of their like belly or their gut or anything. So, no, I don't think that that's the best way. I do think that you need to engage your core and you need to do some work in order to show those abs. But I would say that you need a combination of the two. You need a low body fat percentage, and then you do have to have, some muscle there to show. It definitely helps. But, just with a low body fat percentage, you can show a 6-pack or 4 or 8, however many you have. You guys have probably seen like drug addicts walking around, in the city or whatever, and they have like a 6-pack. So they're not sitting there doing sit-ups. EA Skate was such a black hole. Someone said, yeah, it was. For somebody that skateboards and understands like the movement of the feet, they duplicated that exactly in the video game with the joysticks, and it was like so realistic. I must have spent a lot of my life doing that. I'd blow 4 hours just gone, like, and I wouldn't even realize. And man, yeah, not good. Yeah, no kidding. So 24-hour fast, thoughts? No water, nothing. 24-hour dry fast? Why? Like, I don't know. I would say 24-hour fast, go for it if you want. But like, I don't understand the no water part. Our body is constantly eliminating toxins and detoxifying our body and then eliminating toxins. It basically, it's doing this all the time. So we don't want to, especially if we're fasting, at least in my understanding, in my research, we don't want to just like stop drinking water because we want to be eliminating those toxins. So I would say for 24 hours, our bodies are amazing, more than capable of doing that. Nothing will happen to you in the long term. I don't know if that's going to benefit you though. I would say if you're going to do it, just have some water. Yeah. But if you guys have any other ideas, you might want to put it in the comments. Do you juice cannabis or hemp? Love your style. Keep it going. No, I don't juice it. But I know I have heard that before. Yes. Cool. Let's see what else. Let's get some good questions here. Can I cook protein powder? You can cook anything. But yeah, you can cook it. It will denature the protein powder slightly, but it's not going to kill it. It's not going to like render it useless. But the taste does change a little bit when you cook with protein powder. I find that like the stevia flavor is like heightened, and then all the other like intricate flavors that you want, like if you're using chocolate or vanilla or whatever, like those are kind of reduced, and then you're just left with kind of like stevia metal flavor. So I don't cook with them too much. Have I ever tried CrossFit? No, I haven't really tried too much CrossFit. I've tried the pull-ups and like that sort of stuff. But like, I mean, some of the movements that I do might kind of, be the same, but like I've never gone to a class. No. We got a question, super chat from Baphometricon. Can you comment on batch cooking, freezing and reheating from a nutritional perspective? Also, do you eat olives? I never see them in your meals. Okay. So batch cooking, freezing and reheating from a nutritional perspective. Yeah. So it's not as good, for sure. You're going to lose some of the nutrients. It's not that like freezing your food and reheating it is going to like increase the nutrients of it. There might be something maybe like the lycopene in tomatoes or something, but for the most part, however, we got to think about the alternative, right? And if the alternative for you of like batch cooking on a Sunday, having a bunch of frozen food in the fridge that you're going to bring to work and eat, and that's like, healthy food, prepared fresh, frozen, and then you're just reheating it, is a lot better of an option than, eating fast food or eating out, definitely better option than that. So that's what I would say. Like, yeah, it's definitely not as good. Fresh is always best, but it's not a bad alternative at all. I use a lot of frozen vegetables in my cooking, like corn and peas, for instance. I often always have those on hand because it's so easy for a stir fry. You guys probably saw my 5-minute stir fry video that I made the other day. Yeah, big scoop of peas, big scoop of corn, can of beans, a few chopped up veggies, some tahini, some seasoning, water, mix it all up, boom, stir fry, 5 minutes and you're done. Do I eat olives? Man, I love olives. Olives are very salty, and I'm a salty kind of guy, and I love that. So it's like with the chips. If I have too many of those, I condition my taste buds to like want more of that, and I find that I'm adding more salt to my foods and seeking saltier things. We went for dinner last night to a friend's house, which isn't something I say very often, and it was really, really nice. A vegan couple. They have this like farm country home like out in the country here, and it was so nice. And she had olives in a zucchini noodle like pasta dish that she made, and it was absolutely to die for. They're good. They're good. Like I find like, yeah, chopping them up, putting them on a salad, like it goes a long way, that little bit of flavor on a pizza. So good. All right, red beets. Dr. Greger has several videos about the benefits of red beets for athletic performance and recovery. Hey, guess who else has a video on that? This guy right here. It's one of my first videos I ever made. Props to anybody that goes back and watches that one. It's actually cool. I was like eating beets, and then I was doing the video, and we had some Dr. Greger stuff on there as well. Do you incorporate red beets? They are a delicious addition to smoothies and porridge. Okay, I don't eat a lot of beets. I wish I ate more beets, but of course we can always have better performance and recovery, but I I rarely get tired, like sore after workouts. I'm almost always ready to go the next day. And when I'm at the gym, I smash it for like an hour and a half. And like, I'm like not ready to leave. I had to tell myself to leave. So for me, it's like, I'm not like seeking out any, like, I'm not like, oh, I need more performance, I got to eat beets. So I don't often think about it. And there's lots of other foods that I eat, instead of beets, not because they're healthier or anything, but just because I like them more. With that being said, steamed beets, they're so good. And yeah, in a smoothie, they're really awesome as well. I don't know why I don't do that more, but I should. And I will. All right. So we got Truth Addict. What do you think of the flat earth theory? So theory, I thought it was fact. No, I'm just kidding. I think that, yeah, I don't know. There's not a lot to comment on that one. Like, it's not an area of expertise for me. I definitely, I think that, what I've been taught, I think that the earth is round. I don't think there's a reason for people to lie about it. I think that there's a reason for the government to lie about a lot of things and pull the wool over our eyes about a lot of different things. And I do enjoy diving into some conspiracy theories, if you'll call them that. I don't like to call them that because a lot of them are not actually conspiracies. They're happening. But yeah, the flat earth one, I don't know. It's interesting though. I do watch like debates on it and stuff, and I like when they like try to go out and test, like put a laser beam like across a lake and all that sort of stuff. I think the thing that I observe the most when I watch the flat Earth theory videos from the flat earthers is that like I feel like they just don't quite realize how big the Earth is. Like they're always like, you can't see the roundness of the Earth from a from an airplane or even like but it's like. Yeah, because we're not up high enough. It's like if you're like the size of an atom and you're standing on an orange, then the orange is going to seem like, it's going to seem flat and extremely vast, and you'll never know unless you can get back far enough to see that it's actually round. So I don't know about it enough about it, but whatever, man, just keep questioning things. Earth is not an object. Cool. So what else do we have? What do you think about vegetable police giving up veganism? Yeah, what I want to know is, where do people get these double avocado emojis from? That's what I'm more interested in. I go like this. I've never seen that on my iPhone. But anyways, vegetable police giving up veganism. You know what, man? I don't really care. Like, do what the heck you want with your life. I know what I'm doing, and I know what works for me, and I know like the science, and I know what works for the large populations around the world. But I don't know, I don't know what's going to work best for him. I don't know if he knows what's going to work best for him, but yeah, best of luck on trying. And I come from a long background of digestive upset. When I was young, I had colic. They thought for a long time that maybe I was allergic to like my mom's breast milk. Anyways, and I was on, a ton of antibiotics. And then I had when I was in high school, I had a bunch of skin issues, and I was on antibiotics for years and years, totally messed up my gut. And I started to try and heal that. And that's kind of one of the reasons why I stumbled into the vegan diet. But I know what it's like when you have digestive upset and your guts are just twisted and turned around. You just want to try anything to make it feel better. I understand that. And I thought that it was, I didn't think that I would ever get over it. I thought it was something that I was going to have to live with, but I did. And I managed to heal I don't want to say heal my gut, but I've repaired it enough that, I'm fine and I feel great. And I don't have those same concerns that I do anymore. Is it 100%? No, I don't think anybody's is 100%. Dude, we have 650 people in here right now hanging out. I just want to say, what is up to all you guys? Thank you for coming and hanging out with me, and big ups and props to everybody out there who is caring about their health, about the animals, and about the environment, and you're doing it. I just want to say what's up and props to you guys, because there's a lot of people in this world that are concerned about so many different things, and for us to be concerned about something that's so important, not only for ourselves, but of course the greater good is just incredible. So yeah. Amazing. What's up to all of you? So anyways, back to that. Yeah, the vegetable police thing. I don't know. Whatever so I get it. What I was going to say is I don't know. I'm not in that position. I don't know if I would then, if I would try and do that, there's definitely, if I was him, I would have tried a whole bunch of different things. And I don't want to get into the details of it because, things that I say will be taken out of context, whatever. But it's definitely like he took definitely an interesting approach to healing his gut. Let me just say that. And if he wants to, try this, then it's hard for all of us to understand what one individual is going through. And when you can't, just live a normal life because your just guts are like constantly against you, you just want to get rid of that. And you just want to feel good. So I don't know, man. I just hope he can figure it out and heal himself up. I don't think that what he's doing is definitely the way to do it. But yeah, man, we're all on our journey. All right. Are you ever going to make some burgers, Derek? Why would I make burgers when they sell the NW meatless burger now? No, I'm just kidding. I actually haven't had that yet, but they did introduce that in Canada, the Beyond Meat Burger. And I haven't tried it because I think it'd be like greasy and gross, but I'll probably try it one day. Am I ever going to make some burgers though myself? Yeah, I will make some burgers. That's going to be in the next recipe ebook. And I was trying for the last one, but I just wasn't happy with what I was coming up with. And I wasn't satisfied with it. So we'll come up with one for the next one for sure. Is too much folate dangerous? Some greens have a lot. Well, I don't think, the amount that you're going to get in Whole Foods, I don't think so. But you could definitely probably hurt yourself by supplementing with too much folate. Yeah. Hey, Derek, you rock. From Brendan Brown, Plant-Based for Life. Thanks, man. Any tips on becoming vegan? Yeah. So just like, find a community like you have here. Go on Instagram, follow lots of vegans, watch lots of What I Eat in a Day videos, watch some documentaries that are really powerful like Cowspiracy and What the Health. And there's one I watched a long time. May It Be Frank. I don't know if anyone's seen that. May It Be Frank is an interesting one where they take this guy who's, basically it's like chronic disease and they reverse it through like Whole Foods juicing. It's pretty cool. But anyways, yeah. And then read some books like, How Not to Die or, whatever modality you want. I would just say educate yourself, figure out why you want to do it and just stay in your lane. Surround yourself with people that are doing the same thing. Don't get mad at people that aren't. So what are some potential hazards of following an ultra low fat diet? Yeah, I mean, right off the top of my head, like definitely like hormonal problems for sure. That would be a big one. And then maybe not getting enough calories would be another one. And not getting the right amount, the right types of fats. Maybe you're not getting enough omega-3s. Yeah, so that definitely could be the potential hazards. I would try and definitely get some healthy fats in you. Let's see. Let's get right down to the fresh ones here. All right, I'm right down at the bottom, getting the fresh questions. Intermittent fasting made my leg hair grow back. Very cool. If you want that, I guess. That's interesting testimonial, though. Put that one in the bank of testimonials in my brain. You're a massive inspiration and are one of the reasons I went vegan last year. Says, oh my God, Brad ass. How would you suggest beginning to progress towards a planche? Man, okay, I don't know. I'm there. I'm working with you. I will tell you in like a couple months. I've been trying to figure this out. But tuck planche pushes are definitely helpful. And working on that straight arm strength, that's something that I don't have. It's really hard for me to have that straight arm strength, if my body is in any sort of weird position. So yeah, work on that straight arm strength, straight arm tuck planche holds. And then there's lots of tutorials online. I'll be watching them. There's a guy out there called Fitness FAQs. And he's just unbelievable at calisthenics and giving advice. And he's like a really like charming, polite guy. That's not too flashy, great physique. I'm a big fan actually. But don't go watch his videos because you're going to learn everything and you won't watch from mine. Okay. We got a super chat. Holy smokes from Michael Trottier. Hey, Derek, I want to say thank you for your videos. I'm trying to be vegan, but I find it hard cooking for one. My veggies keep going bad. I'm a Canadian living in Belgium and cannot wait to come home. Yes, I understand that, we're lucky here in Canada and a lot of other places around the world, I'm sure. But, I didn't know how lucky we were when I go into the grocery stores and I see, a mountain of apples on top of a table that is just, hundreds and hundreds of apples. And they'll have, 4 or 5 different types like that. And, oranges, and then just more lettuce than the whole town could eat. The abundance is just incredible. And I never realized how lucky we were until I traveled over to the UK. And yeah, sure, there's lots of healthy food there that you can eat, but like, it wasn't the same. You go into a grocery store and there's like a dozen apples there, and there's like, and it wasn't the same variety. There wasn't as many things. So I get it, that it can be hard. So like I said, yeah, like, he didn't really ask for any advice. You just wanted to share. And Michael, I appreciate that. I appreciate the super chat. If I could give you any advice, man, just do your best with what you have. Don't be afraid of, a few canned veggies here and there, some frozen ones. Yeah, but do your best. And like, I'm sure you're doing awesome. Yeah, but that'd be a cool experience, man. Being in Belgium, I'd love to visit there someday. Thanks for this. Thanks for the message. You inspired me for calisthenics. Is there any alternative for seaweed? Can't find in my locality for iodine. Yeah, there's got to be some, like, I haven't really found it though, but there's got to be something other than iodized sea salt and then taking an iodine supplement. I really don't know. Yeah, you might be able to find some veggies that are grown in like special like iodine rich soil, but like I don't think that's gonna be around where you are. Definitely not much variety here in the UK. Yeah, Stephen McPhillips, I get it. I understand that. Like it was nice for me to travel though, because it does open up your eyes. And like even in a small town here in Parksville, there's like 6 or 7 big grocery stores, and it's like that in all of them. And they throw out so much food, which absolutely kills me. But yeah, just to have like the pick of, hundreds and hundreds of different varieties of fruits and vegetables is just incredible. Are vegans aware of the growing knee problem caused by the increased potassium and cholesterol intake? Are vegans aware of the knee growing problem I don't think it's knee growing. I think it means something else there. But are vegans aware of the growing problem caused by increased potassium and cholesterol intake? I don't know what you're trying to refer to there. The vegan diet is extremely low in cholesterol. And then, it is definitely high in potassium. Most heart healthy organizations around the world recommend that everybody increase their potassium intake, maybe except me. But everybody increase their potassium intake to protect their heart against the oxidative stress that comes from things like saturated fat and cholesterol. Not just the oxidative stress, but a bunch of other stuff. So yeah, I don't know what you're trying to talk about there, Nathan Lee. If you could clear it up, we'd love to talk more about that. Thoughts on canned tomatoes and veggies? Hey, you gotta eat what you have. So fresh is best. But yeah, I mean, canned tomatoes, try and find them in a BPA-free can, because tomatoes are quite acidic, and in my understanding, they can like leach the chemicals from the cans a little bit more than some other things that are maybe a bit more inert, like, I don't know, beans, something like that, a little less acidic. So yeah, that's what I think there. Is there anything like too much soy? Yeah, there's a good Dr. Greger video about that. Too much soy. How much soy is too much soy? I forget what it's called, but it was something like, it was high. It was like 14 servings a day. You'd be pretty much eating soy at every meal. Oh my gosh, I forgot about this. I want to tell you guys something. Just take a break from answering questions for just a sec. I had the funniest thought. And you know how everyone does all these like food challenges where it's like junk food, 10,000 calorie, or like just fruit for a day, or whatever it might be. I think John Venus, he just did like desserts for a whole day. It was such a good video, and it didn't get enough love. So go watch that, you guys. But anyways, I was thinking of doing a challenge, and it's so silly. I don't think I'll actually do it, but like the soy boy challenge, where you just have soy at every single meal. And it wouldn't be like just a plain tofu. It would be like for breakfast, it's like a tofu stir fry, right? You'd have a couple other like veggies and stuff, but mainly soy. And just to piss people off, right? I don't think that that's a healthy way to live. But I just thought it would be funny, because this whole like soy boy thing is so popular these days. And oh yes, they did that Soylent experience. Yes, but Soylent was different. Yeah, just for a challenge, and then like challenge another vegan, like John Venus do the soy boy challenge. I just thought it would be funny, but I don't think I'm gonna actually do it, because I don't think we should be eating that much soy. Yeah, see Sophia Unger is laughing. Soy boy. I think it's so funny. Like all these, people are like so protective about their masculinity that they're like call people like vegetarians or vegans like soy boy, and like, oh, you're like, you're becoming feminized because you just like eat so much soy. It's like people are so worried about their masculinity, but then like people like, I mean, myself, like, I don't care. Call me a soy boy, call me a girl, call me weak, feminine. Like, I don't care. I friggin' know that I'm not. Anyways, are you looking forward to the Game Changers movie? Yes, I am. It's going to be amazing. My buddy Nimai is in that, and I'm sure a lot of other familiar faces. It's going to be incredible. Yeah. Wish I was in it, though. Don't know why they didn't get me in that. All right. We got Ryan Taylor. Quick little super chat donation. Thank you. Let's see what else. Get some good questions here. Hey, Derek. Just wanted to tell you that you are awesome. Thank you for that. I always like hearing that. Keep up the good work. My question is, if weighted calisthenics is recommendable when not mastering. My question is, if weighted calisthenics is recommendable when not mastering bodyweight training, planche, front lever. Okay, I'm not exactly sure what you mean there, but I'll talk about when you should start doing like weighted calisthenics. And what I find, so of course, we've all heard, 10 reps. That's kind of like the sweet spot where you can help your body get stronger, but also promote muscle growth, right? And then if we move into like reps that are really high, like 20 to 30, that's going to be sort of more like endurance based. And if we go, sort of 1 to 2, 3, 4 reps, that's more like strength based and strength training, right? So I try and keep my reps around 10 to 15. I think that's a good number. Most of the time, sometimes I'll do really heavy stuff where I can only do a rep or two. Sometimes I'll do really light stuff where I can do 30. But for most of the time, I try and keep that, rep range between 12 and 15, and 10 to 15, but usually 12 to 15. I like to get a few more in. So when I was starting calisthenics, I could do, 6, 7 pull-ups. And then I started to progress where I could do like 12, 15. And then I kind of realized like, I'm just staying here. Like my body's not telling me to get any stronger. And I knew that I needed to stimulate my muscle to get, more, or stimulate my body to grow more muscle. And I basically wanted to trick my body into thinking that it's heavier so that it'll be able to lift more. The muscles will get stronger and bigger. And that's what happened. So once I kind of got to about, 10 to 15 reps, then I started introducing weight. So definitely when I was able to do like 10, which was pretty early on, I started to introduce a small amount of weight. Just to tax my body a little bit more. And then once I could do sort of 15, that's when I started like, regularly adding weight to my pull-ups, like right away, rather than, I'll do a few warm-up sets, but then right away I'll add 25 or 50 pounds and I'll just do that for a little while. And then I'll reduce the weight and do drop sets. So I think when your rep range, to answer your question, I could have just said this in the beginning, when your rep range, I think increases to over like, maybe over 15, or if 12 is really easy for you, then start to put some weight on. And if you're having, trouble progressing past like 10 and you just keep doing it and you're not getting any stronger, then maybe try, putting 10 pounds on for your first like 5 reps or first 3 reps. And then you'll see you will get stronger. Really good, good question. Oh my gosh, yes, Goji Man. Is Ask Goji Man here? He's got a new up and coming channel. That is really cool. Yeah, I think people were just talking about him. Ask Goji Man. Yeah, he's a little science-backed vegan YouTuber that's coming in hot. So yeah, definitely check out his channel as well. So we got some rude comments, and we're just gonna hide that. No, I'm not gonna do that to you who is asking. You don't have enough money. Derek, can you give me tips for perfect digestion? I'm struggling with it. Guess what? I don't know, I don't know if perfect digestion is even a thing. Like we all will have some digestive upset every once in a while. But I think the biggest thing that you should do is eliminate the big, sort of the big 4, allergenic foods, or the foods that most people have allergies to. And of course it's dairy and eggs are the first 2, and then soy, and also wheat. I would get rid of those first and then see how you do. And, you can start food journaling and that type of thing if it's still bothering you after that. But yeah, I mean, and then also maybe it depends what the digestive issues are, right? There's so many different concerns. Is it constipation? Are we talking about diarrhea? We're talking about gas and bloating. So yeah, the biggest things are eliminate those and then increase stomach acid, which would you could do with digestive bitters would be a really good way to do it. And then also probiotics, sauerkraut's the best. So yeah, good good question. What do you think about Ayurveda? So Nikolaj very confusing last name, asks that. As a lot of you guys probably know because you're so well educated who watch me, but Ayurveda is one of the most ancient forms of medicine. I think it is. It predates Chinese medicine, I believe, and yeah, it's like the very start of sort of healing, at least that we know about, and it's very cool. I think that there's a bit of hippie woo-woo stuff around it. Like we have to, I don't know if you guys know, but you find like what your dosha is. So there's different like what do they call it? The prakriti, which is like you could be either a like sort of really fiery or like really cold and damp, and like it is definitely like where Chinese medicine gets its like the dampness and that sort of thing from, and the heat. I'm not like all that well versed in it, as you could tell, but I don't know. It's definitely cool. I had an Ayurvedic course when I went to school for nutrition, and it was really interesting to me, and it was really cool to learn about the history of like of healing like that. It's just so ancient and it's so incredible. But I think that like combining sort of the intuition and the ancient knowledge from that and like, modern day science, I think it could be a really powerful thing. I am a coffee roaster. Do you think too much caffeine could affect my muscle gains? See, actually like roast coffee. That's a cool job. Adam McDonald. Too much coffee could affect your muscle gains. I don't know, man. Like probably in the long run. Like I don't think that a lot of coffee is great, but I know that like some coffee is actually like good for us. So they say, and I think it's black coffee. I don't know what to tell you about that one, man. Too much caffeine affect your muscle gains. I mean, if you're always like hyped up all the time, yeah, it will, because eventually you're gonna burn out your adrenal glands, and you're not gonna be able to like keep working out hard. We have to remember that caffeine is borrowed energy. We're not like when we eat carbohydrates or we eat nutrient dense foods, that food is giving us energy. There's calories in that food. There are sugars in that food that give us energy. When we consume caffeine, there's no energy, like, our body's not getting energy from that, but it's just signaling our body like, you got to create energy now. So, it's borrowed energy, and we'll have to pay it back. And whether or not you have a cup of coffee in the morning and you crash in the afternoon and you pay it back then, or you have coffee many times a day for many years, and then after many years you crash and you have to, repair your adrenal glands and the whole, and all that system, then it's going to hamper your gains. So I would say take it easy on the coffee. Maybe limit it to one a day. My biggest thing with coffee that I notice when I have too much of it is I get anxious. Feels like there's ever pending doom. Like, what's going to happen? Like, why do I feel like something's coming? Like, I always just feel like I'm waiting for something. Yeah, anxiety. And then it messes up my digestion. Things just move through me way too fast. My my stools aren't like formed very well anymore, and not great for my digestion. So I know that there's like a limit. If I have like 1 cup of coffee every sort of a few times a week, then I'm okay with it. When I start having too much, then it messes me right up. All right, so let's see. Do you like broccoli? From imminent? Oh my gosh, that's hard to say. Imminent. I don't know how to say that. Probably just a simple word. Do you like broccoli? I do like broccoli. I don't like it raw. I like it steamed. I like it with like a nice nutritional yeast and like cauliflower cheese sauce on it. But I don't like a lot of raw broccoli, no. And I find it gives me like a lot of gas as well. So yeah, but steamed broccoli is so good. In a stir fry, amazing. But I know raw broccoli is really good for us. And it's full of that sulforaphane, which is super anti-cancer. Hey, Derek, have you thought about getting a dog? Do you mean in the last 10 minutes? I want a dog so badly. I had a dog when I was growing up, Zoe, bless her little heart. She was a cute little miniature schnauzer, and she didn't feel like she was in our life for very long. 10 years we had that dog, and it felt like it went by just like that. Definitely want another dog. We're just waiting for the right time. We're traveling a little bit here and there. It's kind of mean to do that and just to push it off on someone else. And we also have Coco, the cat, as you know. And Coco, we rescued Coco from a home, caring home, but a home that had a dog that pestered Coco, and Coco had zero quality of life. and couldn't do anything. So we took him from that situation, and he's ours now. So for us to bring a dog back into the situation with Coco, it's like not that nice. So as much as I want one, I'm trying to do the selfless thing and wait on that. But man, I would love to have like like a collie, like a border collie, you know, the ones that just like look in your eyes and they're like, tell me, like, what do you want me to do? Do you want me to chase a ball? Do you want me to go for a walk? Do you want me to jump through a hoop? Man, I just want a dog like that so badly. Not that I'm just going to make it do a bunch of stuff for me, but like, you know, when the dogs that have that connection, they just look you right in the eye. Good, man, I love dogs. Love all animals. Hey, Derek, do you have any tips on hair loss? This person's mentioned this so many times. Leia, maybe this is a girl, Leia CR. So for guys, like, I mean, you know, for me, I definitely have a bit of a receding hairline, and I don't know what, you know, I'm not going to go and take like Rogaine or some sort of chemicals to deal with it. It's just like the natural course of my life, right? I'm 35 years old. It happens. But I think if your hair is like thinning, you know, if it's dry and it's like not healthy and it's thinning in a way that, you know, you can tell is maybe due to nutrient deficiency, I would go and get a full panel blood test. Just get it done. It might be iron. It might be some fats. It might be hormones that are out of whack. And they can help you with that. And if it's a symptom, the hair loss is just a symptom. It's not like that's not the problem. That's just the symptom of the problem. So there's something underlying. There's something deeper than that. So I don't know what to say. For girls, I would say make sure you're getting enough calories is the number one thing on a vegan diet. If you're not getting enough calories, hair loss is imminent. If you're not getting enough zinc, could be a problem as well. And then if you're not eating enough fats and your hormones are out of balance, that could be a problem too. Iron's another one. I don't know. Get your blood tested. Figure it out. There's not like a certain food that you can just like eat. You know, there are some supplements, but it's that we don't want to just supplement the problem. We want to like figure it out. So there you go. But if you find something that's magic and it can give me like a, you know, Brad Pitt style like hairline, then I'm all for it. So you may convert testosterone to DHT. There's a blood test that tells you right up front. Yes, right. So I might be one of those people that converts testosterone to DHT. That makes your hair fall out. However, I don't, is there a way to like stop that if that happens? I don't know if there is. Like if I do get that test and they say that that happens to me, is there any way to stop the DHT from forming from testosterone? I don't think that there is. I think it would just kind of give you a reason. Who knows though? Creatine increases DHT. Yes, the exploding core is totally right. In some studies, it is shown that consuming creatine does increase DHT. Yeah, thoughts on getting enough choline on a vegan diet? Help. Yeah, I don't worry about choline on a vegan diet. Yeah, I don't know why you're worried about it. But if you tell me why you're worried, maybe we can get to the bottom of it. Hey, Derek, do you persuade family to take health seriously? Family is a tough one, man. I don't persuade family to, okay, I do a little bit, of course. It's hard with the ones we love, and you know, we want the best for them. And when we find out this, and then we learn all the bad things about like a meat-eating diet or a standard American diet, it's like, whoa, let's put the brakes on all this. We got to tell our family like everything we know. We got to save them from this death they're gonna have. But you know, with family, it's tough. It's one of the toughest. Close friends and family are hard, especially if they're not on board with you right from the beginning. So I don't pressure my family to eat healthy. I've just, my mom has adapted a plant-based lifestyle and she's doing great from it. She's, she's like killing it. She's lost weight. A lot of her pains went away, like joint pain, that sort of stuff. She used to suffer with like terrible restless leg syndrome throughout the night. She says she's sleeping better than she ever has. She has more energy than ever. She's like over 7 years old. It's a powerful diet, man. So I never convinced her though. I would, every once in a while I'd send her videos. Hey mom, you might be interested in this. Here's maybe why you don't need to be drinking so much milk. But it wasn't just like a relentless onslaught, for a week. Like you got to go vegan right as I'm doing it. No, everyone's on their same journey. And our parents, especially, we have to remember it's a long time of conditioning of them hearing got milk, eggs for breakfast, like all this sort of stuff, like, that they're conditioned to know, they've been conditioned to know. And, we just have to remember that, be patient. Anyways, your mom is going to be immortal. Oh, I hope so. I hope so. Freaking love mom. My mom's coming to visit me here in a couple weeks, so maybe we'll get her on a vlog or something like that. It'll be pretty awesome. She lives across Canada on the other side, the East Coast. But yeah, that would be so sweet. And then, just a quick heads up. I'm going to the Okanagan Vegfest. No, Fruit Festival. Okanagan Fruit Festival on August 10th to 13th. And if any of you are going to be there, I would love to chat with you, but I probably will because it's not like a massive event. But yeah, it's going to be really cool. I'm going to be eating lots of fruit, hanging out with lots of raw food vegans, and I'll be like sneaking like tofu on the grill on the side or whatever. No, I won't be. I'm going to be like water. I'll just adapt and live the life. It's going to be amazing. Derek, give me a kiss. Jacob Rye. You're a frisky one, Jacob. There you go, bud. They have been brainwashed from Greg Thomason. I don't know who's been brainwashed, but our parents. Yes, they have been. You're right. Yeah, like we have. It's crazy, man. Like people are always like, oh, like we don't want you like pushing your vegan ways like down our throats. Meanwhile, like you just see like a bus or like a bus drive by that has like an advertisement that's like eat beef, and there'll be like a McDonald's burger on it or something. It's like, really? Like, am I pushing it down your throat, or are they pushing, meat and dairy and all this other stuff down our throats? All right. My husband eats eggs every day. Dang. Yeah, get that cholesterol checked. What's my opinion on vegan gains? Yeah, so vegan gains, man. He's been a real big part of this movement, let's say. And I know he's going through some stuff right now, some depression, and I wish him the best. And I want to see him like firing on all cylinders again, because man, he's a force to be reckoned with when he is. And yeah, I just hope he gets out of it. I just wanted to know that, like, man, we got love for you out here, and it's hard being on social media. You get lots of like, especially him. And I know he asks for it a lot of the time, but you get a lot of criticism, and you can let it, kind of roll off your back for so long, but eventually, it does start penetrating your armor, no matter how thick it is. And I'm not saying that's the reason for it, but there's lots of different, stresses that come from being a YouTuber. It's like, trying to create content that's like valuable to the viewer that you don't want to create, that's going to get views, and then you got to, think about, other parts of your life that you might want to, try and enjoy. And then, he has his girlfriend and stuff, and they've had some trouble with their dogs. So yeah, man, my opinion on vegan gains, like it's obviously wouldn't be my approach, to get trying to persuade people to entertain veganism, as this is mine, a slightly, more gentle stand here and on the lighthouse approach, but we need all the approaches. So he definitely, plays a great role in this whole thing. And he's a key part of the puzzle, as are every one of you, as is me. So yeah, I think that's what I think about him. But Richard, man, I feel for you, dude. I hope you can overcome this quickly, and we want to see you back firing on all cylinders, smiling, being happy, making gains, making those vegan gains. All right, your take on Indian food? It's delicious. It is so good. I love Indian food. Yeah, like the best. I just wish that they wouldn't use so much like hide cheese and everything. Like, what's up with that? Derek, share a funny story about Crystal. Crystal? Oh, I have to share a funny story about you. Okay, she thinks there's no funny stories about her. I'll see if any come up. I don't want to spend too much time thinking about this right now, but yeah, I'll think of something. Okay, funny story with Crystal and me. Actually, this is kind of more embarrassing for me, but Crystal is kind of embarrassed as well. So we were at this park near my house, and it has like a pull-up bar. And in the summer, our beaches are really, really busy because we're a bit of a tourist destination. We don't have a lot of people that live in this town, but we got some beautiful beaches, so people travel, from around to see our beaches. And I was like, you know what? Like, there's some people watching. I had my shirt off. I was like feeling pretty cool, and I was doing some pull-ups, and I was like, Crystal, like, hang on, hang around me like this, and see if I can do a pull-up with your weight on me. I was feeling confident. And I'd forgot, but I was wearing some like pretty slippery boxers and I had no shirt on, remember? And she grabs around my like sort of, you know, right here, and she's holding me, and I go to do a pull-up, and I'm getting there, and she starts sliding down, and she's grabbing on so tight, and she's so committed to this, like she always is. She's amazing. She pulls my pants right down, and I'm standing there hanging from the bar. She's got my pants in her arms, holding onto my ankles. She's just laughing in embarrassment, holding onto my ankles. And I'm standing there with all these kids around in these tiny little slippery boxers, just like, wow, like what am I gonna do here? Everyone's looking at us. That's probably the funniest story I have right now with Crystal in it.
We have some funny stories, but yeah.
That's the funniest one though, man. It wasn't like it was embarrassing, but like I wasn't embarrassed. It was just like a funny situation.
Oh man, we have so many embarrassing stories. Like that time I was riding my bike and it like slipped through the crack.
Yeah.
Like there's so many.
Yeah, there's so many. Someone asked about another one really about Crystal really quickly. Right within about 50-meter vicinity of that same area, we were riding along the boardwalk, and if you guys know, the boardwalk's like how the planks run this way. And we're riding along, and she has a road bike with really skinny tires. And at one point, like the planks weren't like close enough; they kind of deteriorated, and they were like separated, right? And she's riding her bike, and I'm like conscious of it, but I guess she wasn't thinking about it. And her tire goes right down into it, and she just flips over the handlebars. And I was like, oh my gosh, she's dead. And then all of a sudden, she's just standing there, like she didn't even fall. She just somehow jumped out of it, and she was fine. Anyways. That's a good one about Crystal. Psychedelics, mushrooms, that person put down there. Yeah, man. So, I hope mom's not watching this right now, but I've experimented with psychedelics before. I definitely have. And, man, I don't recommend it for anyone. I've talked about this in an Ask Me Monday, but it's definitely, I don't know. I don't want to promote it at all. And because I don't think that it's a way to enlightenment. I don't think that it's necessary for anybody. I don't think that your life will necessarily be better off with them. You know, I don't know, but I know that I have, and it's like it's been a long time, but it gives you some sort of like interesting like reset and a new sort of perspective on things. And you kind of come back, and you just feel like you've just shaken a little bit of like the dust off. It's a really, really strange thing. I don't know how else to explain it. But beyond that, I mean, when I was younger, you know, yeah, we partied, and I never gave these sort of things the respect that they deserved until I got a little bit older. And if you do, I think they can be a really useful tool. Yeah. Started drinking lemon water in the morning, but I don't know how much lemon to use. Right. So, okay, we don't want to have too much lemon in our lemon water because it's going to be hard on our enamels. We have to remember that. Also remember, after you have your lemon water, don't brush your teeth right away because it does soften your enamel a little bit. You want to wait a little while and just rinse with clear water afterwards. Rinse really well. Rinsing is actually one of the best things that we can do for our oral health is just rinse. And I don't do it nearly enough, especially after sweet things. Like smoothies and that sort of stuff. We want to rinse our mouth out. So, as far as the lemon water in a, let's say this is about 750 milliliters. In that much, you would want to have half a lemon or less. I would say even a quarter of a lemon in that. So maybe a half a lemon per liter of water should be an okay ratio. But, you know, if it starts to hurt, if you're worried about your teeth or anything like that, it starts to hurt them, or you're really prone to cavities, then maybe just have warm water in the morning. Hydration is the most important part of that. Hydration, not the lemon. Hydration. All right. Do you have any advice for getting off sugar? I've been addicted my whole life, and I love sodas. Oh my God. Okay. So Crystal just messaged me. We've been live for an hour and a half. Okay, so go a little bit more because we still have 600 people here chatting. Do you have any advice for getting off sugar? I've been addicted my whole life, and I love sodas, M&Ms, and that sort of thing. Any advice for getting off for good? Right. I was the guy in school who had a pocket full of M&Ms at all times. I loved sugar. I don't know how I still have teeth. I have no idea. But I absolutely loved it, and I get it. It's a hard addiction to break. And I still, I still have a little bit of refined sugar here and there, and I try not to, but I know I do. My body's like, I make up excuses, and we do these things. We just say, let's just a little bit, or it's like, it's going to be fine. We'll just eat healthier tomorrow. Right. And it's, just like vegan treats or some chocolate bar or something like that here and there. Nothing crazy. But yeah, and the sodas. Wow. Okay. So understand that we have a microbiome in our guts, and there's a certain balance that we want. There's an ideal balance, and it's different for everybody. And when we start feeding that gut bacteria things like sugar, and processed foods that aren't fiber bound, like refined grains and that sort of stuff, then our gut bacteria becomes out of balance, and that the bacteria that is like the sugar loving, yeast loving, bacteria starts to proliferate. And if we keep feeding it that, it'll just stay like that. It'll keep growing, and it'll have, the lion's share down there. So, but another thing that it does is it sends signals to our brain to tell us to continue to eat these foods. It's crazy. We think we have free will, but sometimes we don't. So you have to understand that there is a war going on inside you, and that is telling you it's trying to convince you to be on their side. So you'll probably notice at the same time of day, you crave the same sorts of foods. And that is just the survival mechanism of that the microbes that we don't want in those numbers in there telling us, hey, feed me because I'm starting to die off, and I'm going to lose this war. We need our fuel. So understand that you got to starve these things off, and you don't have to do it by doing a starvation fast or anything like that, but you have to abstain from them. And then know that once you do, the food will be so much easier to avoid, because you won't have that sort of, you won't have them inside just nagging, saying, hey, just eat me because it'll help all my friends, to proliferate. So hopefully that helps you a little bit. Get off the sugar, eat lots of fruit, and just don't buy it. Don't have it in your house. If you have it in your house, you will consume it. So there you go. So for me, I had to get myself off the sweet tasting always. I could, because I can easily abuse fruit and dried fruit. So there you go. So they got right off of it. So maybe that'll help you for a little while. But I would try and substitute with healthier things for sure. Okay, we got a super chat. Ryan Taylor, you're awesome. What are a few of your 10-year goals for the channel and just in life? Okay, for the channel, wow, if I'm still YouTubing in 12 years, that would be really cool. Maybe I will be. That'd be really neat. I hope that people still have an interest in me when I'm 45 and have less hair than I do now. And maybe smaller muscles, but maybe not. Maybe I'll keep making gains until I'm 45. It'd be amazing. 10 years from now. I've never been a great one with long-term goals. I like vision boards. I like knowing a direction and sort of a path. But these long-term goals, I find they often change. Really, they change. So I have trouble making them. When I first started YouTube, if you were to ask me, I would probably have said I want to be the biggest YouTuber in the vegan scene. But I wouldn't say that now. I don't want to be that. I'm happy having a good audience, a good devoted audience like you guys, reaching out to some more people, and having a lot of personal development. So hopefully in the future I can invest some money into something that will benefit people's health and help them get into a more plant-based diet. Whether this is some sort of retreat center, or whether it is I don't know, online courses that I'm just I run continuously or something. But I definitely want to branch out in the next few years. But yeah, as far as that, I don't know, man. Healthy, happy, in love. Those are my 10-year goals. So yeah, I'll go for another, let's say another 10 minutes here. We still have 580 people tuned in. This is really cool for me. So thank you guys. My man is 35. Yeah, someone will be a silver fox in 40 years. Yeah, hopefully that'll be 40, 75. Wow. Opinions on urine therapy. This is from Gregory. Would you give it a try? Any thoughts on distilled water? Yeah. So, man, urine therapy for me, I'm not searching for any additional health that much that I'm going to drink my own pee for it. So I'm not trying to be funny. I'm seriously saying that. So for some people, if you are searching and that's something that you stumble upon and you try, fine. But for me, it's I don't have that longing to search out greater health. I'm not saying that I am a specimen of perfect health at all by any means, but I'm not going to go drink my pee just so I can maybe be a little bit healthier. And I haven't seen the science or the evidence to show that that it would. Not that it's not out there. I just haven't seen it. So those are my thoughts on urine therapy. There was another one, distilled water. Yeah, I don't know. I know that opinions are changing on distilled water. For a long time, we thought that it sort of maybe would rob minerals from people's bodies and it's not a good thing to drink. But now it's kind of flipping and it's saying like that is what we want to be drinking. We don't want to be drinking, this whatever, like mineral rich water. I don't know anymore. I just drink water as much as I can, like whatever form I can. I'm not too concerned about it. For a long time, I was just drinking straight, pure, unfiltered spring water because we live near a spring. You guys probably remember that from back when I was living on the North Shore of Vancouver. And I felt great doing that. And I was really worried when we moved away from that source because I drank that exclusively. And it was like raw, living water. And we moved here and I had to drink sort of like filtered tap water. We got like an alkaline filter sort of thing for it. And I was really worried that it was going to impact my health and I was going to not feel as good because I wasn't drinking this like living rich water anymore. But nothing changed and I still feel great and I still drink lots of water. I wish that our water didn't have like chlorine in it, but we do our best to filter it out. Thoughts on, I just saw one that I liked. Where is that? I think somebody asked about, someone asked about pre-workout and caffeine. I consume caffeine before my workouts sometimes, not because I don't have enough energy to work out without it. Clearly, I do. But I do notice that I go harder when I do have some caffeine before my workouts. So if I know it's going to be a really heavy day, I'm dragging my butt a bit, I definitely will have some caffeine, usually in the form of a coffee. I really like matcha as well. There's a bit of caffeine in it too. I think it's okay, but I understand that, you have to understand that it's borrowed energy, like I mentioned before. So yeah, the thing with pre-workouts and caffeine is like, it's kind of like, oh man, it's a bad analogy, but it's like kind of like partying on drugs. Like once you start doing that, you go to a party and you're not high or you're not drunk and you're just kind of like, when's this thing over, right? Not that I'm not condoning partying on drugs. I'm just saying it's similar to that, right? And so you start taking these crazy pre-workouts, caffeine every time before your workout, and you go to the gym, you try not to, and you're just like, man, this is like not nearly as good of a workout because you've set that bar for like, the power and the energy and everything that you have. Caffeine is 100% a performance enhancer. So yeah, you have, you definitely have set the bar a little bit higher. You're gonna have to battle with that. So yeah, it's up to you whether or not you want to party on drugs or not. Hey, Chris Hesselmark, thanks for the information you give us. Cool, man. Thank you for being receptive to it. Any calisthenics tips for teens? No, man, just get into it. Just do what you like and practice. Like if you think learning some progressions towards some movements is the coolest thing, like you really want to learn that flag or you want to learn that muscle up or whatever, then definitely start progressing towards them. I think it's a great thing. I compare it a lot to skateboarding. When I grew up skateboarding, it's very similar to that because it's very self-motivated and you have to there's a certain element of like strength and fitness to it, but then there's also like skill and repetition and athleticism that you have to develop over time with calisthenics, especially if you're going to start doing like the tricks and everything. So I think it's a really, really cool thing to get involved with. And I encourage everybody to start doing it. There's no better feeling than having control over your body. It's just such a cool feeling. All right, a couple more questions. And man, I feel like I could chat with you guys all day, but I don't want to be the guy on here with like a 4-hour live chat. So we'll cap it. Let's say 1 hour, 45 minutes. We're at 1:33 right now. So we got another 10 minutes to hang out. I'm going to have a quick sip of my smoothie. I had such a hard workout today, guys. I don't know if any of you guys were watching my stories, but man, I smashed it. And yeah, this is like, I'm fasted still. So just give me a quick second here. Man, okay. Tips to get more protein on Chronometer. I only get 45%. I get 45% in like one meal. Like it's usually, I think it's set at 56 grams of protein for men. That's what they've decided is how much protein we need to survive, to live a healthy life. And there's definitely some contingency written into that as well. So we don't even need that much. However, to build muscle, having more protein does help. So if you're only getting 45%, that means that you're only getting like 30 grams of protein in a day, that's not very much, and you're not eating enough. You're not getting enough calories. So yeah, unless you have changed your numbers on Chronometer, which you can do. I don't know if you guys knew that, but you could put in custom numbers, custom values. If you just click right on the nutrient that you're talking about, it can change that. So for you, unless you change that, if you're only getting 30 grams of protein, you definitely need to get more. You definitely need to eat more and eat more protein-rich foods. I can't come over there and shove them down your throat. You just have to do it. That's all I can tell you. So yeah, check and see what your Chronometer is set at. Maybe you accidentally set it to like 200 grams of protein or something like that, and you're only getting 45%. You're getting 90, excuse my math, whatever, not 100 and whatever, 95 grams, something like that. I'm not a mathematician at all. Then you're doing really well, right? But if it is set at that 56 and you're only getting like, 30, not good. Yeah, how is 30 even possible? I think there's something up there. So yeah, sorry about the flies flying around in here. My cat has to have access to the door like all the time. He always wants the door open all the time, so he can go in and out, even though I installed the cat door for him. So yeah, we have like flies flying around here. But ahimsa, we don't kill them. We just live harmoniously with them and like scoot them out the door when we can. All right. What else do we have here? What do you think about Nofap? Right. So for anybody that isn't so inclined to know what that is when you abstain from masturbating. And what do I think of that? Man, like I said, I think a lot of people are searching for better health in a lot of different ways. And if this is one of your methods, and you think it's going to help you find greater health and, maybe greater spiritual development and more strength, then all the power to you. I think that, I don't know. It's, I'm in a relationship. It's, it's not something that I'm overly active with, I guess you would say. I think that it can, anything in life can become a problem for sure. But if we are, if we're doing that too much, I think that it can definitely take away some of our chi, some of our vigor, some of our, our zest. So, yeah, that's what I think about that. If you have to abstain from it entirely, I don't know. I don't think, that's for you to decide, but, yeah, not too much. You'll go blind. Best way to get over an all-night cocaine binge. I've never been there, man. Good luck with that. I would just avoid those drugs. Keep it natural, guys. Do your meals change in the winter? Yes, they do change in the winter. So people are always asking me, do I cut in bulk? No, I don't cut in bulk, but I definitely eat less food and foods that are not as calorically dense in the summer. And then in the winter, I tend to eat like more building foods and I'm less energetic. So I definitely gain a little bit more weight there. And I eat seasonally, I guess you would say. So I eat a lot more, of the sort of, winter veg like squash and, just more cooked foods in the winter, I guess you would say. All right. What are your thoughts on drinking coffee? We just talked about that a few minutes ago. Just pay attention to how it makes you feel. If you get anxious, if it affects your digestion, if it hurts your stomach, stay away from it. Do you care about anti-nutrients in food and how to get around them? So it's not I care about them. Yes, of course I care about all things. Do I worry about them? I don't worry about them very much. No, I don't. I definitely don't focus on eating foods that are high in anti-nutrients for sure, but I also don't avoid them. So we're talking about things like, lectins and oxalates, things that tend to inhibit mineral absorption in our bodies. So what has been shown and what science has proved is that vegan diets can actually cope with those anti-nutrients a lot better than somebody who's on a more meat-based diet or an omnivore diet. We actually have, a better ability to break those down. So our gut, like I said before, our gut bacteria changes. It's so amazing how our body just supports our health if we give it the right food. So yeah, that's what my thoughts on that right there. I wouldn't worry about them too much. But if you are, steaming, okay, for instance, Spinach is quite high in oxalates. So if we steam it, it helps to reduce that. When like beans, they're really high in phytic acid, and that's bad for us. Well, it's not bad. Actually, you know what? It's an anti-cancer. It's not bad for us in small amounts, but in huge amounts, it's not good for us. But the nice thing is when we cook beans, that phytic acid is like reduced a lot, and it's not a problem. So yeah, it's not something that I worry about. I know it's something that's like really big in the like paleo and the carnivore movement, and they like talk about it. However, there's definitely like holes in that theory because a lot of the foods that they eat, do have anti-nutrients in them as well. So they're just picking and choosing. Can you talk about de novo lipogenesis? I heard you mention it, but don't understand when I read about it. Oh, man. All right, guys. So thanks for joining the chat today. We're I'm just kidding. So can I talk? Yeah. So de novo lipogenesis is the process of our body turning excess carbohydrates into stored energy, just fat, basically. And the truth is the process isn't that effective. People think that just any little bit of extra carbs that we get into our bodies will then turn into fat, but that's not actually the way that it works. They found de novo lipogenesis. They found out throughout that a lot of the energy is eliminated in excess heat. Our body temperature will increase, a few fractions of a degree, and this is from a carbohydrate-rich diet. It's so amazing. So we get rid of energy through that, and then also like you're just more active, so so some of the energy is burnt there. And then there's the process, de novo lipogenesis. You can read about it. I'm not prepared to speak on it with any great length right now. But it is, it's really interesting. You should be able to learn about it a little bit easier than some sort of like scientific journal. There's definitely, I think Dr. Neil Barnard talks about de novo lipogenesis a little bit. Maybe do a little search on YouTube here when we're done in 5 minutes. And check it out. But it's really neat. It's really interesting to learn about, and it's not something that's spoken very much about. And I don't know why. It's definitely like science proven thing, but just isn't. Anyways, hey, can you talk about mushrooms? Are they important in a healthy diet? And if yes, what kind? Ooh, I'm not a mushroom specialist at all. But yes, mushrooms are really, really powerful. They have some great anti-cancer benefits and some good. I believe it's something to do with our gut health. I can't remember. I wish I did. Well, of course, like the fiber in them. But yeah, mushrooms, definitely eating like the immune health, amazing for immune health. Definitely eating like the sort of less common varieties. So not just like the white button mushrooms, but actually getting like, some nice, more like heirloom varieties of mushrooms, I guess you would say, are better. I think, was like portobello mushrooms, healthier definitely than like the white button mushrooms, and cremini mushrooms, I think even better than that. Yeah. Cool. Oh, here's a good one. Oh, okay. One first. So salt in sauerkraut, is it like salt in miso? Yeah, I don't know. I saw you mentioned this before, Asher, and I didn't get to it because Dr. Greger talks about how adding miso to your foods as a salt substitute is a really healthy alternative because it doesn't have the same negative effects on our health as salt does. It doesn't affect our like electrolyte balance or all that sort of stuff. That's the same as salt. So really cool about miso. Is the salt in sauerkraut the same? Well, no, because if you've ever made sauerkraut, and I'll make a video soon. I keep meaning to do this. It'll have to be when we get back from our vacation because I have some cool recipes for it. But if you've ever made it, you have to add salt to it. So it's not the same. No, you add salt to sauerkraut, but you shouldn't have to add too much. You just do it to stop the bad bacteria from growing and allow the Lactobacillus acidophilus to proliferate, which is already on the actual like leaves of the cabbage. I think it's so cool that you don't actually like add probiotics or add anything to the cabbage to make it like ferment. It's just the bacteria that's like already on the leaves that does it. Nature, you're amazing. All right, so somebody said chaga, reishi, lion's mane, cordyceps, for example, have immune support, anti-aging, great for energy, stamina, brain health, focus, and much more. Yes, for sure. So like those ones, I mean, I think of those more as like supplements, like not so much as like mushrooms that you would be eating in your diet. But yeah, I mean, if you get lion's mane and saute that up, oh my God, that'd be amazing. but yeah, definitely. So I consume, reishi, and especially during cold and flu seasons, I'll take a blend of mushrooms. And there's reishi in the new Vivo Life protein powder as well. So that's an immune boosting property there of it. So yeah, really, yeah, thanks for that. And mentioning all those medicinal mushrooms. Does soy cause man boobs? Well, I don't know. I've been eating soy for like 7 years now, and I don't have a hint of any sort of aromatization or like puffy nipples or anything like that you'd be worried about. So for me, and in the amounts I've been eating, definitely no. And in the amounts that you're eating, probably not either. I want to see more videos of what I eat in a day, and also smoothie recipes. Cool, we'll do that, definitely. Yeah, so Paul Stamets is a fab fungi guy. Yeah, so I actually listened to the Joe Rogan podcast with Paul Stamets, and it's like, I think 2.5 hours of just like really, really interesting conversation. And if any of you didn't see it or didn't watch it, Joe Rogan just recently interviewed John Joseph from the Cro-Mags. He's a very outspoken plant-based advocate. He doesn't like the word vegan, but he's like really like rough and swears a lot and tells it like it is, and really cool guest for Joe Rogan to have on his podcast. So it's definitely like worth checking out. Little plug for old meat eating Joe there. He'll figure it out one day. Disliked, someone said. All right, fine with me. Not everybody has to like me. I'm okay with that. So soy does cause big boobs on men unless it's organic. Hector, la la la. I'm sorry, man, but you were wrong. Yes. Can I eat as much fruit, natural sugars as I want? I mean, no, not as much as you want, but I would say as much as reasonable. You could base a large part of your diet off of like fruit. I think it would be fine. But make sure you're getting in lots of other, dark leafy greens, lots of protein-rich foods as well. But yeah, I mean, I don't limit my fruit intake. I have it whenever I want it. And if I want a snack, fruit is like the absolute perfect snack. So yeah. Soy and thyroid issues. Someone else was asking. So thoy. Oh my God. Oh, 146. Yeah, we're running over time here. I'm losing my words. So soy is like they call it like it takes thyroid. Oh my God, I can't even think anymore, guys. We're almost done. So it's a cruciferous vegetable, and those they tend to like rob your like body of or at least don't allow your thyroid to absorb the iodine. And that's a concern. However, you have to be having having almost no iodine in your diet, and you have to be eating so much of those goitrogenic foods. That was the word I was trying to think of. Goitrogenic foods that your other things in your life are going to be imbalanced like before that happens. So I wouldn't worry too much about it unless you already have a precondition or a pre-existing thyroid condition. I wouldn't worry about it at all. Just make sure you have a source of iodine in your diet. But like, yeah, should we be avoiding like kale, cabbage, like Brussels sprouts, like all these things because they have, some estrogens, phytoestrogens in them? No, definitely not. Hey, Horatio, F1, just tuned in, got off work. Hi, Horatio. Thanks for joining, but we're just ending this. So sorry, you're going to have to show up earlier next time. Okay, let me get one more question in. Anybody else? Let's see. Maybe that's it. What is your stance on honey and wool? What if they're from sustainable sources? I've talked about this so much before. Let's go over that. Okay, what non-vegan food do I miss? I like that one. Non-vegan food that I miss. You know what? It's definitely not. Which I'm sure like this is meat eaters gonna be like, how's that possible? But it's definitely not meat. Like it's definitely not bacon. It's definitely not a steak. It's definitely nothing like that. Like not even at all. Which is kind of crazy because I used to like wake up and have like, bacon like burgers for breakfast. Like I didn't care. I was out there grilling all the time and I couldn't imagine my life without it. But now I don't even see it as food, to be honest with you. And I think that's like, it's funny because that's what most people say. It's like, yo, you're vegan, just have a steak, man. Just have a steak. And it's like, that is like the last thing that I want. Definitely not steak. So for a while I thought it was like eggs. I thought maybe, like, yeah, maybe I'd like want, if I could find sustainable eggs, like if I had chickens myself and they were laying too many eggs, for instance, maybe would I eat them? I thought maybe for a while, but now, yeah, I smell them cooking. They smell so sulfurous. I know the health effects, of having them. I don't want any of it in my life. So really the stuff that I miss is just like the processed food. And I know it's probably going to upset a lot of you guys, but it's just like being able to like grab and it's good because I'm not good at controlling myself with like sweets and stuff. Well, I am now, but before I sort of made these parameters, right? Yeah, just being able to just grab whatever you want, like, grab a Twix bar, just feel like that, having it. And it's that kind of stuff that I sort of like, that I guess I miss if there is anything, but I know I would much rather, like, I know a Lara bar would taste much better to me right now than like a Twix bar or something like that. So it's not even really a concern anymore. Yeah. Maybe like, in my brain, I think like pizza, I want like good old cheese pizza, but then I actually, so here we go, a little confession to you guys about, maybe it was like 6 months ago, went to the pizza place in my town because they just offered a vegan pizza. You guys know where the story's going, but I'll finish it. They offered a vegan pizza. So I go there and I order it and I say, can you make sure it's vegan? I understand it's probably not that popular in this town, but like, I just want to make sure it's vegan. Like I don't need any dairy or anything. Yeah, sure. It's vegan. Go away, come back, pick it up 20 minutes later. I look at it. I'd never seen their pizzas before. So hey, looks like cheese, but so does like Daya, right? So does melted Daya cheese, looks like cheese. So I was kind of suspicious. I showed the girl, I said, you sure this is vegan? She looks at the receipt. Yeah, it says on the receipt it's vegan. I go outside, I smell it, and I'm like, it smells kind of like feet. Like it smelled a little bit weird. And so I just tried, like I took the smallest little piece of cheese or of whatever it was on there, and I put it on my tongue, and like right away, it was just like this mucusy like coating on my mouth, and I couldn't get the taste out of my mouth, and it was like just hit me like that, and I was like, this is cheese. Like I couldn't believe it. 7 years of not having it, and it was the most disgusting thing in my mouth. It tasted like I was eating someone's dirty like gym sock. It was absolutely disgusting. Anyways, I took it back in there, and they were like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Yeah, we'll make you one that's vegan. And so I said, yeah, thank you. This could have been a big problem if it was an allergy, and they were kind of nonchalant about it. And I was kind of pissed, but I didn't want them. They were like making me food, so I didn't want them to like spit in it or anything. And I was like, oh, it's okay, I guess. Anyways, I think it's about it. Everybody always wants me to talk about Dr. Sebi. He talks about hybrid foods. And hybrid foods are like almost all the foods that we eat, unless they're heirloom variety foods, almost everything that we eat has been hybridized. So there's different types of foods. There's like hybridization, and then there's GMO foods. GMO foods are when they, like in a lab, they go in and they just like put in some DNA from another organism, like another living organism. So for instance, in like, they'll put like, it just gets so crazy. Spiders' genes in things so that like, they won't, so that pests will think maybe like there's a spider around and not eat them. I don't know, man. There's the crazy stuff that they do with it. And they also make it so it's like, genetically modified to like not die when it, like you spray Roundup on it and all that sort of stuff. That is totally different than hybridized food. Hybridized food is the food that we've taken and over time we have like selectively bred to give us a certain result. So if you know like what wild carrots look like, they're basically like, it's just like roots, they're not like like all the starches and stuff that we used to eat way back in the day. They're like roots that you would pull out of the ground right now, and you would not consider eating it, and it would not fill you up because it's so stringy, right? So then we've hybridized these foods and we've selectively bred them to be like, the carrots that we know, that are sweet, that are bright in color, that are, that have the nutrients that we want. And they're not always hybridized for nutrition. Sometimes they're hybridized for color, for texture, for taste, for shipping, that sort of stuff. So yeah, ideally I'm with Dr. Sebi. I wish that we could all eat the traditional foods that were once around. But like, the amount of fiber that we were eating back then, like we've all seen that paleo poop video where it was like we were eating like 100 grams of fiber or something ridiculous way back. We just wouldn't get through it these days. And it's, we've bred a lot of the fiber out of our foods so that we can get more calories, so we don't have to be like foraging and chewing and everything all day. And we've had like such a variety of food that, that keeps for longer and that we can ship across the world. And I understand that there's negative and positives to that as well. So yeah, people are always asking me about Dr. Sebi, and I guess like my audience and his audience kind of overlap a little bit, and I have nothing against him at all. I would like to learn more about him. I just, he's, never sparked my interest, but not that he isn't interesting. I just have never gone down that path. So yeah, I'll have to see about the hybridized foods. I'm interested in what you guys think about that though. So like, let me know, and I'll read through the comments. But like, yeah, I mean, say goodbye to, most of the apples we're eating, the lettuces, spinach. Okay, I'll put it this way. I can't think of one food that I eat that's non-hybridized. Yeah, I don't know if any of you guys put in the put in the comments right now of a food that you eat that is not a hybridized food. And then we'll eat that. But I just, for me, my whole goal here, this is how we're going to finish it off, guys. I love all of you. For my goal for this channel, and just, in life and helping people out, is to make veganism attainable for everybody. And not in the way where it's like, yeah, just eat vegan, even if it's junk food or whatever, right? I want people to improve their health. I want people to see that you can eat a vegan diet and it be like easy and welcoming, and you can still be a normal member of the society and, attend dinner functions and, just be normal, but we can just tread a little lighter on this environment by eating plant-based, be a little kinder to the animals, and a lot better to our health. So I try to make it easy, right? That's why I do 5-minute like recipe like I did the other day. I eat really simple things. I try not to like have all these ingredients in my recipes that are, I have to go and buy from some specialty food store, because I want it to be easy and attainable, cost effective, for everyone. And if I start telling people, you can only drink distilled water, you can only have food that's heirloom food, like to be healthy. You can't have bananas. No, you can't have that. Oh, you want an apple? No, that's the hybridized food. You can't have that. Like it's not going to turn a lot of people this way. So, hopefully what happens with me is like I rope a lot of people into this scene, into the movement, thinking about what they're eating, more plants. And then if people go, you know what? I think that this hybridized food that we're eating and all this GMO stuff is wrong, and they find Dr. Sebi and they go that way, well, it's amazing. I think that's great. But I'm trying to rope as many people into this whole thing as I can. And it sounds negative, right? But just trying to influence people to live healthier, eat healthier, feel, just as good and vibrant and amazing as I do. And I've done that for a lot of people because I get messages every day. I get dozens of messages. It's so empowering. People saying like that I've helped them and I've changed their lives and their health is getting better and their family's health is getting better. What we're doing is so powerful. And anyways, thank you guys so much for this. This has been a really fun 2 hours. As with all things on my YouTube channel, it ran over time by like 100%, but that's okay because it was super fun hanging out with all you guys. I think that we all learned something here and lots of good questions. Let's see if we have any interesting points on the hybridized foods. No, nobody gave me their nope. No, nobody. I don't think anybody told me any non-hybridized foods. So anyways, much love to all you guys. Thank you so much for joining me. I think that's probably it. It's 2 hours. It's a long time for anybody to be looking at me, for me to be on the internet. I love you all. I hope everyone has a great time. Someone says no one has a clue. Yeah, man, you are your best doctor. All right. Bye, everybody. See you all. Peace. Have a good sleep. Have a good day. Whatever it might be for you guys. Much love. Thanks for joining me again. Stay positive. Eat plants.